Hey guys, it's your Blue Line group with your BlueLine Wives Roll Call podcast.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Jamie Wright with Wright Dalbo Insurance.
I'm Amy Lewis, mortgage loan originator.
And our teammate Shannon Gilbert with Emerge Real Estate has pneumonia today.
She is feeling down in the dumps for sure.
Yeah. So she won't be joining us today, but that's okay because we're going to bring you some serious info and maybe some bloopers.
May not plan those bloopers, but yeah. So hopefully Shannon's listened. Maybe if she's feeling up to it, maybe she'll send us a couple messages.
Yeah, we hope you feel better soon.
Yeah.
But we are coming to you live from LEPD Firearms and Range right here on Bethel Road in Columbus, Ohio. And for those of you that don't know who we are yet, we are a dedicated team of law enforcement families specializing in real estate, financial, and insurance services, fervent about creating ongoing professional relationships and giving back to our first responder families. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning. So what's new with you? How was your week?
You know, my week it's been like a really long week. Like every day I woke up like, oh, it's Friday. Or like, you know, when you wake up in the morning, your alarm clock goes off and you're like, oh, it's Saturday. And my Saturdays it still happen at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But I don't have to get up and get ready and get the kids ready.
Yeah, you can have some lounge time.
A little bit, but not, I don't know.
One of my kids woke up on Tuesday. He's like, oh, I'm so glad it's Friday. I was like, honey, it's only Tuesday. Oh, what? She was like, yeah, sorry, you're jumping the gun a little bit.
What is that about that? Weather?
I think it's a combination of I'm ready to be done with school. I don't like school. And it's so nice out. I just want to go play outside all day.
Yeah, I have those days too.
Yeah, just go jump in the trampoline, swing a little bit. Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong.
Did you hear this? We are not a political show. We don't ever get into that. But I know there's a lot of buzz right now about the U.S. Court of Appeals, the 6th District, has now banned or they've withdrawn the rights to be able to chalk a tire. You know how when people just park their car on the street and they just leave it and leave it and leave it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're not supposed to do that.
Right.
Well, so what they have, some cities do it differently. They may have just a parking person, or it might just be someone in a cruiser. They go around, chalk the tire, and see
how long
it stays there, if it's moved at all. Of course, some cities may have like, okay, if you just move it an inch, that's okay. But they have repealed this, saying that it is a violation of the Fourth Amendment rights of citizens because it bars unreasonable searches. That's what the Fourth Amendment does. So now we're violating their rights to park and to monitor how long they park. I mean, who knows? It could be an abandoned car. It could have been a car out of some type of crime. It's nuts.
Yeah, I'd say so.
There's got to be ways around it, though, don't you think?
I don't know. There's going to be cars parked everywhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you live in my area, let me just say, I have had this car parked across the street from my house for literally 4 months, and nobody will do anything about it. So I personally am not happy about that. I think that's why it came to my mind. I wasn't happy about that. Somebody needs to do something about that.
What's next, Amy? What's next?
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sure there's lots of different opinions out there. But to me, I was a little irritated by that one today.
So speaking of cars and irritations, I would just like to remind everybody, do not text and drive.
For many reasons, obviously.
Do not take a picture and post it on social media and drive. If you don't have like a hands-free operation, probably shouldn't be on your phone talking and driving. There are some serious stats out there. I think it's like 2 out of 3 people are distracted. So if you are not distracted, if you're doing your due diligence, driving safely, everybody around you is not, so you still have to be on guard. But on my way here today, now my drive-in is pretty lengthy, but I mean, I'm on the freeway and it's rush hour and everybody around me is on their phone. Everybody around me.
I don't get that. It's like there's not enough hours in the day, so people make all of their phone calls while they're in the car.
Well, and I get like you're busy and that's your time, but like really, it's really unsafe. I mean, people die, you know,
Absolutely.
and
And the innocent people around them are affected by it too.
and we're giving our children the example that that's okay to do. And when your children come up and start driving, I mean, they're going to be on their phones the whole time.
Yes, my kids are very good. I don't know about yours. My kids are very good about if they hear my phone
Yeah.
ring or if they see me pick it up when I'm stopped somewhere. Mom, you're not supposed to text and drive. You're not supposed. Well, I'm not. I'm stopped. I'm just reading to make sure it's not an emergency. But they still get really upset about that. So I'm glad that they remind me. But
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I'm driving down the road and I see this car going this way, then going this way, and sure enough, I see the head is down in the car.
Right.
Like, get off your phone.
Well, and it's actually it was a hot topic for me today because I was super annoyed by it, but
Mhm.
it's actually distracted driving like awareness month. And they say that the number one reason that people are distracted is daydreaming.
More than your phone.
Daydreaming.
So
I mean, think
daydreaming
about
is
it.
more of a distraction than your phone.
You're driving from A to B, and how often do you forget how you got there? Because you were thinking about other things.
I don't know. I guess I've done. I guess everybody's probably guilty of that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm too busy watching out for the crazy people, or watching out for accidents along the side of the road. I mean, trying to. And there's so many. One time, well, actually, twice this has happened to me in my life where I've had a bird fly out. One was one of those Canadian geese, and another one was one of those turkey vultures.
Oh, it flew it.
It flew right into my windshield as I was driving, and I only had one child, and she was really young, and it flew right into me. And I remember driving, and I just ducked as I was driving, and I thought, well, that was stupid. But I did think
Yeah.
that was so large it would
Sure,
come right
sure.
through my windshield, so I was trying to get down. And so that scared me so much that I'm always looking, and I'm from a very rural area anyway, so deer were always a
Oh,
big.
yeah.
So I think because I grew up that way, I'm always aware of like glowing eyes at night along the side of the road, or
Yeah,
I'm
but you
always
can't
aware of
help
that.
Seeing a deer makes my armpit sweat. It does. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be like, oh, I mean, because I hit one once, or I should say, one hit me.
Yes, of course.
And ever since then, I get I get really scared about them. So
Yeah, and I think
my armpits sweat.
those experiences are what kind of cue you into, okay, I need to put this down. I need to pay attention to what's going on around me.
And I mean, like even eating. I mean, okay, putting on your makeup.
That is,
That's all distracted driving.
yeah.
It's all distracted driving. So just a reminder, just please be safe. Do not set that example for your children because you're going to worry about them. Just lead by example. Be safe out there, really.
And
Be safe.
your car can be replaced, but you and your children, your
Correct.
family cannot, and let alone if it's somebody else's family who is an innocent bystander in all of it, cannot be replaced, and nothing is worth that.
Absolutely.
Your text can wait.
That's right. They can wait. But anywho, so let's get it on today. Let's get it on. That's our first blooper.
Barry White is in the house.
So we thought we would bring you the topic today. We kind of wanted to discuss a little bit of what we do. We have a lot of guests on that talk about their businesses, but we haven't really had an opportunity to discuss kind of what we do. And we thought it'd be kind of interesting if we brought you some just kind of myths about our job so we can kind of bring those to surface.
Right.
And talk about, just different things and like how we actually want to help you.
Right. And, a lot of people say, well, how did you meet? Why do you do the show? On and on. Well, do you have day jobs? I've gotten that before. You have a day job? Well, yes. And I think that's what's kind of prompted us. We don't really talk a lot about what we do because the purpose of our show is to benefit all of these first responders and their spouses and their families. So just letting them know of resources that are out there, just kind of talking amongst girls.
Yeah, about
of
being
what
a woman.
Yeah, what life is really like. So we thought we would address some of the things that we do because yes, we do have day jobs, but
Yeah.
again, we're not soliciting for anything. But to answer your questions, we thought maybe we'd just cover a couple topics and see if that would be of interest of you. And feel free always to comment on the Facebook page if you have any questions, and we'll get to you and so forth. So Jamie does insurance.
I do.
So exciting.
I tell everybody that all the time too. So insurance is kind of like math. Okay. If you don't do it every day, it's kind of like you forget about it, right? And it's kind of in one ear and out the other because hopefully, you have a professional that kind of helps you with that and kind of walks you through that. But there are so many times within my job that I get, and this will be the first myth for you, I get, to change my rate, give me a discount.
It's about
Right.
you do for me, girl.
Right. So, let's dispel the myth of, let's talk very loudly because we just lost our Mevo connection. But the insurance agent itself can actually not give you a discount. Like, I can't personally give you a discount because, or change your rating, because insurance rates come from the insurance carriers, not the insurance agent or agencies.
Okay.
Now, a lot of times people want to know, why did my rate change? And there's a lot of different factors that go into an insurance rate. And we're talking about auto insurance specifically at the moment. But let me just kind of throw out some rating factors for you, because you might not know all of them.
So this is just auto, right?
Yeah, we're just specific to auto.
Okay.
No. But, so the rates are set via the company. Obviously, your driving history.
Well, that kind of makes sense. Who'd want to insure someone who hits
Right.
a deeper?
Right. So
Too often.
So if you just got a recent violation and your rate changed, bet you that's probably what it is. Your rate class. So that means how much and how long have you been driving? So if you've been driving for a short period of time, like a youthful driver, obviously the rates are going to be more expensive.
So is that why a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, their rates are through the roof?
Yeah, I mean, yes, through the roof.
They view that as, well, as somebody who's getting ready to insure somebody in that case,
Right.
It was quite sticker shock.
Right. So, and here's a tip for that too. If you have a youthful driver and you're planning on getting them a new car, and if you're planning on getting a car that you're going to put full coverage on, then prepare yourself, sit down, and go over your monthly rates. Because it's going to be more expensive to insure a youthful driver on a full coverage car. The chances of them getting into an accident are greater, right?
Sure.
And insurance is about risk management. So the risk is great. So the premium's going to have to offset that too.
Do you recommend full coverage on a new driver?
Well, so the coverage itself is for the vehicle. The full coverage is for the vehicle.
Right.
So your liability is going to be for the other party.
Oh.
Medical is going to be for you. The uninsured motorist section is going to be for you.
And is that
your
only
driver
under full coverage?
No, those are all your liability coverages.
Okay.
So full coverage is going to be your comprehensive, your comprehensive fire, theft, vandalism, glass claims, collision. Obviously, if you run into something or someone or their vehicle,
Or a deer runs out in front of you.
right? That's comprehensive, actually, because that's an act of God.
Well, is it really? I learned something new today.
Yeah. So, and then obviously your rental car coverage, the towing and labor, those are all kind of optional coverages under the full coverage. That protects the vehicle. So if you have a youthful driver, maybe check out cars that you feel comfortable enough not putting full coverage on. Not to say that if you get a brand new vehicle for your child, you're definitely going to need full coverage. There's loan requirements for that as well. But if you're looking at a vehicle that you think, you want to get for your youthful, your son or daughter, just maybe think about a vehicle you're comfortable with liability only on. So along with that, obviously rate class. So where you live, so your territory, obviously. So
where you live has something to do with your insurance. How does that work?
Yeah. So there's different rating territories. So just like they create cities, there's different rating territories too. So if you live in a city, there's going to be more drivers out there, right?
Okay.
There's going to be more people, so there's going to be more chance for an accident.
Well, that makes sense.
Right.
So
More
if
people
you're
are commuting.
if you're insuring someone in Atlanta or LA, they're going to have a higher premium than someone that you're insuring in, like, I don't know,
Well,
even Columbus.
So insurance is all state specific.
Okay.
So and there's a couple states that I write for, but yeah, I mean, I can imagine that rates in California are more expensive. But we're talking like City of Columbus versus a suburb, a smaller suburb. So the suburb's territory rating is going to be different than Columbus, if you will.
So it's even that geographically specific.
Correct.
Good to know.
So yeah, so where you live, your status. So, you know, single, married, widowed, stuff like, those are discounts. So if you're married, the chances are your responsibility is a little bit higher because you need to be responsible for another human, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, what kind of car you drive. So if you have, let's say, a run-of-the-mill Honda sedan versus a Lamborghini, it's going to be less expensive to insure a Honda Accord, right?
Sure.
The kind of vehicle that you have.
So let me ask you this about vehicle.
Yeah.
I've always heard, dispel my myth, does a red car cost more than a different color car?
No.
Okay, that's
The
what I was
color of
wondering.
the vehicle has nothing to do with your rating.
They always say that when you have a red car, you're more likely to get speeding tickets, you stand out more, and that it's more to insure. So, dispel that myth.
Now, if you have a red car that has a hot premium engine in it, that will be more. So don't just go, don't just go on the color of the vehicle itself. But no, just your standard red vehicle is not going to have an increased rate on it.
Well, that's good to know.
Yes. And then obviously your coverage limits are going to come into play, right? So if you have a state minimum versus a higher liability limit, the rating is going to be different. I am not an agent that will sell you a state minimum policy because it's just too low. And for those of you that don't know, state minimum liability insurance is $25,000 per person for bodily injury. If you hit somebody and you hurt them, and it costs more than $25,000, that's on you. Now, typically when somebody goes in for injury after an accident, those numbers are going to go up pretty quickly. So I recommend that you at least start at $100,000 base.
Minimum.
That's my recommendation. Yeah, absolutely.
So what are those state minimums doing? Are they doing the 25,000?
The state minimum. What do you mean?
I'm sorry, I didn't phrase that correctly. The companies that are giving minimums that are just doing very basic policies.
No, I can't speak to those companies because I don't sell for them. But yeah, if they're selling you a state minimum policy, it's just $25,000 per person, $50,000 per accident for the other party's bodily injury.
That doesn't go very far.
It really doesn't, especially if they have guests in their vehicle. So if they're traveling with their children or their family members, and the policy only pays up to $50,000. Again, that's on you. After that,
that's kind of scary. So there's a good point of not going with what the cheapest rate is. Just because it's the cheapest rate doesn't mean that it's the best coverage.
Right.
You're not covered. You're not safe.
Yeah.
And those around you, if you cause an accident to someone else, they are going to come back on you too.
Right, and it's another case for, you can say it's kind of you get what you pay for. So the value of having an insurance agent or insurance professional speak to you about your coverages and how you're protecting yourself, your family, and others around you for any of your negligence is really important. If you haven't had a review with your insurance agent, I highly, highly recommend that you do it. If you don't know what your liability coverages are, call your insurance agent. Call the insurance company. If you need advice, call me. I am happy to help you regardless. It's extremely important that you know what you got, because you won't care until you actually have a claim, right?
Yeah, and then you're going to have sticker shock, and you're going to say, I wish I would have been more proactive in this. So you talk a lot about auto, but what other insurance policies are out there? What maybe not necessarily what you offer, but what are the other standards out there that people should have and should consider thinking about?
Sure. So obviously I write auto, home, business, life insurance. I write all of that. And another kind of, I guess, myth, if you will, for a lot of people is that life insurance is expensive and I can't afford that right now. Life insurance is not expensive. And you can actually work within a budget. So if you're like, I have X amount of dollars to pay for life insurance, we can kind of customize a plan for you. It is better to have something than nothing, especially in this lifestyle. You've got to have life insurance, and you should have it outside of your employer too.
Right.
Because if you do not continue that job, or you get let go and nobody plans for that, you will not have insurance outside of your employer because you generally cannot take that with you.
So is it better to get the life insurance when you're younger or when you think you might need it?
Oh, I mean, get it now while you're young. Because you just don't know. When you get older, obviously life insurance rates are going to increase as you age. And you don't know what kind of health problems you're going to come into at some point, because life insurance is medically underwritten. So take that into account. If you want something, if you're questioning it, just call your agent. Call me. We can talk about it. Again, I've sold life insurance policies, term policies that are $13 a month.
Wow.
You know? I mean, obviously depending on your age and your medical history. If you are a smoker, a non-smoker, those kind of things play into those ratings. But again, it's not expensive, and you are benefiting your family and the ones that you love. And this isn't just for you. This is for the people that you love.
So our main audience is first responders, but obviously this is a topic that everybody could benefit from. What would you, in your opinion, just your opinion,
Sure.
what is a good, what's a good amount of coverage on life insurance for someone who is a first responder?
Well, that depends on the debts, obviously, that you have, the assets that you have. It depends on the person itself, but if you have children, if you have a mortgage, if you have vehicles, the typical, American dream, if you will.
Yeah.
I really, really recommend the minimum of $250,000. Again, depending, on what you have too.
What should someone be looking at when they decide how much they want to get of life insurance? What should they be looking at? How much they owe on their home, or how much their home is worth?
What you want to think about is, if I die today, what do I leave my spouse with?
Mm-hmm.
Or what do I leave my children with?
Do you want to have that house paid off?
Right.
Do you want to have enough to cover paying off the
right.
house?
Final expenses, debts. Because you are literally replacing your income, right, for your spouse.
Okay.
So you want to say, for X amount of years, I want my spouse to live without my income, to be able to pay off the mortgage, pay off the vehicle, so she or he does not have those monthly expenses, right? Because you want them to maintain their lifestyle, especially for your children, because
Right.
you want it to be as stable as possible, right?
Do you ever take into consideration college cost for?
Sure.
It might be in that. So that's something that you can add in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you were to pass today and you said, you know what, I really want my children to go to college, and I want my death benefit to take care of that, then you're going to want to plan accordingly for your death benefit. And then there's a lot of different types of policies, right? So term insurance is the best way to replace your income. It's the greatest amount of death benefit for the least amount of pricing. And again, that's usually really great during your earning years, but you're going to want something after that too. So you're going to want a universal or a whole life policy, and those are permanent life insurance policies. So they stay with you until you expire. And a lot of times they build a cash value, so you can borrow against them. So there's a lot of different options, and it really just depends on what your goal is. I had somebody in my office yesterday, and the first thing that I ask is, what's your goal with this? What is it that you're trying to accomplish with this? Because everybody obviously knows that you need your final expenses, right?
Right.
That's what people think about life insurance. Well, if I die, don't worry about it. Just, cremate me and put me wherever.
Yeah, they don't think about what's going to happen to the people they leave behind,
Right.
and how their lack of income, or
Right.
how even the lack of companionship will affect people in a mental way,
right?
An emotional way.
Exactly.
So I know there's different types of life insurance. Can you tell us the difference between the life insurance and what is good for each people at different stages of life, what they should be picking?
Sure. So if you're super young, I guess that's all subjective. But if you're in your 20s and you're healthy, you can get a lot of term for a like that $13 a month rate that I was talking about. But you're going to want something beyond 30 years, because you're going to outlive that policy.
Right.
If you're 25, you're going to have it to your 55, and then what? Because at 55, you go to reapply. Who knows what health concerns come up?
True.
The age that you're applying for. So you definitely want to make sure that you have a term policy that's convertible. And that means that you can convert it to a permanent product at the end of the term. So you're literally taking it and flipping it over to a different type of policy. But my suggestion is a hybrid.
Okay.
My suggestion is a hybrid. And that's going to be really at any point in life. But you're gonna want your term for your income replacement, okay? Then you're gonna want your whole, your universal, your permanent product for after you're retired. And the goal is, right, I'm retired. So I have my plans set out for me. I've got my debts paid off. I've got all of these things under control and in place, and I have my income set. So you probably won't need a great amount of death benefit because you have that already figured out. So you need, the goal is to get you through the earning years, right, with term, and then you want something on the tail end that's going to last you too. And if you set it up correctly, you could have quite a bit of surrender value within a permanent product too. So
when would you use that?
The goal for life insurance is obviously a death benefit, right, for your beneficiaries.
Right,
so
right.
I probably wouldn't. But again, if there's something that comes up along the way, let's say you have a health concern that you need to pay the bills for or whatever, you can borrow against that. And that's only in a permanent product that builds a cash value, that has a surrender value. And you want to definitely take a look at the surrender values at the time, because you want to kind of make sure that you're getting the surrender value and the account value about the same. And it sometimes takes about 15 years for that to happen.
So you would want to only use it if you've had it long enough,
right?
And if it's in an emergency situation.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily an emergency if you're planning for it that way, but you don't want to get a permanent product and say, in 3 years I totally want to cash it out, because you are wasting money to do that, because the value in the policy hasn't met the surrender.
Yes.
And surrender just means you're surrendering it, you're taking money out. So those values are different. So again, another thing to talk to your insurance agent about. Very, very important stuff.
Yeah, life insurance is extremely important, especially in the lifestyle that we all live. I know personally, I have one on myself, in addition to one on my husband, because if something happens to him, but also if something happens to me, my husband still needs to be able to work and take care of our kids. So we do have one on me, because my presence would affect my family, and if I'm not there, that changes things. He needs to be able to take care of them if I'm not there.
And that's a great point, because I have a lot of that too. Well, my wife, she's a stay-at-home mom, so we don't need that much on her, right? But you have to replace her time. She might not be making the income, but you have to replace her time because she takes care of your children and your household. You're going to have to pay somebody to do that.
Right. So not only are you now looking at childcare costs,
right,
but possibly having someone come in and help you once or twice a week to get things taken care of around the house.
Right.
So that you can, as the spouse, can still continue to work.
Go to work.
The kids don't notice too much of a change. You're still taken care of. So
exactly.
So you also do...
I do all kinds of it.
Is there any other myth that you want to touch on?
Well, real quickly, and I just want to point out, life insurance is really easy to apply for. It takes about 15 minutes for an application. There is a paramed involved, and they come right to you. But it's super easy.
Well, that's very convenient.
Yeah,
they come to you.
Yeah. So don't, again, it's not something that you have to worry about or fret over. If you have been thinking about it, now is the time. This is your sign. This is your sign.
We were sent as your messengers today to talk to you about how to take care of your family on an insurance level.
Yes. But let's get to you, because we're running out of time already. So let's talk about some mortgage lending myths.
Well, I'm still curious about homeowners insurance, because that actually...
So that's leading you, right? That's leading you in?
Well, I am curious about the homeowners insurance.
I'm sorry?
I thought you was on the phone. I didn't want to buy it. I come to
We
buy
are doing a live podcast.
Yeah, we're doing a live podcast.
We have a visitor today.
He's got a light on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
I'm supposed to pick it up at 11 o'clock.
You want to talk to them back there?
Thank you, dear.
That's the second blooper of the day now. So actually, I do homeowners insurance, of course.
That plays a lot into what I do, but we can get into that at another time. But I get a lot of I only want to cover my house for what my loan amount is.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I get that a lot. I'm like, well, you need to talk to your agent. Of course, I refer them to Jamie, because she needs to talk to them and tell them why, when they're getting a mortgage, mortgage, that's not always the best idea. But in general, that's not the best idea. So
Correct.
why don't you tell us more about that?
So the market value of your home is different than the replacement value of your home. So that means that whatever you buy your house for might not necessarily be what you insure your house for. Because what the insurance carrier's goal is to get you back to where you were, right, before the loss. So if it costs more to replace your home than it does that you have on the loan, they're going to replace your home. That's why it's important to make sure that you have a replacement cost homeowner's insurance policy. So things that go into replacement costs: year built, square footage, the foundation, is your basement finished? Do you have any decks, porches, patios? Do you have anything inside that's customized, like your bathroom or your kitchen? What kind of flooring that you have? All of these things go into replacement cost calculator. And the calculator spits out the replacement value of the home. And that's what you would have to insure it for to make sure that it's covered for replacement cost.
Now, is that just to rebuild the home?
What do you mean?
The replacement cost.
The replacement cost.
That is to rebuild the home. But what about if people have a collection of some type?
Oh, yeah,
What
right.
if they want to insure their, or what if they want to replace their couch? Let's say, God forbid,
Sure.
they have a fire and they've lost their clothes, they've lost their furniture.
Great question.
Is that going to be covered?
So your dwelling amount, the dwelling is the structure itself, right? Then you have coverages for other structures, personal property, loss of use. So those coverages are a percentage of your dwelling.
Oh.
Based on the insurance company's
Good to know.
standards and guidelines. Yeah,
Okay.
it's all percentages. So other structures would be anything detached from your house: a shed, a pool, a fence, anything that's detached from the structure, the dwelling itself. Personal property, your couch, your furniture, your appliances, your clothing, all of this stuff inside that belongs to you. So if you do have, let's say, a very large loss, you're going to have your dwelling coverage. You're also going to have your other structures coverage. You're also going to have your personal property coverage.
Good.
So those are all in addition to. Again, it's really important to make sure that everything's insured properly. So again, I will tell you, make sure you give your agent a call. Just to go over this stuff. If you haven't had a review in a long time, now is the time.
Yes, it only takes a few minutes. Call your agent, talk to a friend, see if they're happy with what you have. Don't hesitate to get second opinions, because it's great to talk to someone. Like, I learned stuff from Jamie today. Maybe my agent would not have told me that. I don't know. So don't hesitate to get a second opinion. And I know Jamie already offered her time for free if you want to get a second opinion. That's why we love her, because she is so willing to give of all her time. So if you're looking to get a second opinion, reach out to someone else and make sure that you're fully covered. Let's be safe and smart about this.
Yeah, and we both obviously, I write for the entire state of Ohio, and I've had 17 years in this now.
Wow.
So if you have any questions, again, I'm really happy to help you. So feel free to give me a call, email me,
How can they get a hold of
message
us?
me. How can they get a hold of us, Amy?
Yeah, so, well, just to remind you, we are live from LEPD Firearms and Range on Bethel Road here in Columbus, and we appreciate their use and their time. If you want to get a hold of us, if you'd like to talk to us, if you'd like to ask us some questions, if you are a spouse or family member of a first responder and you have a business and you would like to be showcased on our show, we would love to be able to promote you. So you can reach us at Facebook, which is, our page is BlueLine Group of Central Ohio, or BlueLine Real Estate Services Central Ohio. I know.
It's a lot of words.
There's a lot of different things that go into this, but we do have an email that's super simple, bluelinegroupofOhio@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter.
Yeah, look me up on my Facebook page. It's just write WRGHT/Dolbo, DOLBOW Insurance. Feel free to message me there as well. I have a lot of posts with my email and my phone number, so I'm happy to help out.
Yeah, go check out her page.
Woohoo!
And her cute little sidekick, too.
Yeah.
Well, 3 of them, but one you see frequently.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's worth it to go look at it just to see who her cute little sidekick is. You'd love it.
You'll get to meet Winston one day too. Maybe we'll have him on the show.
That'd be nice. All right, well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you here next week at 10 a.m. Have a great week.
I mean, Tim texts me and is like, yeah, you're not on.
Well, it's still here, but
I saw we were frozen when you were for a while.
No, I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah, he said we weren't on. I was like, can you hear us? And he's like, sort of, but it's really weird.
Because they can hear everything else around here too. So like this is still live on Facebook right now, but it's not. So I can't end it. You know what I'm saying?
So we're just gonna see it here.
So yeah, maybe it's the computer.
I tell you what, I used it twice.
Oh, I think you got a home?
Yeah.
What kind of price is on that?
We'll take a look.
If you bring it here, call me, I'll retire.
How far from the other one?
I don't even. You.
That little section of the house that house.
Maybe.
There's a button on
There,
top.
did you touch it?
Yeah, I pressed the button.
Okay, it's red now. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's
Oh, really?
I think maybe the red means. I don't know. I don't think it was on.
Alright, I'll let you go there. I'll send you some info on that.
Or you can grab it.
How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Oh, good. Thank you.
How'd it go?
It's still live on Facebook.
Oh, is it? Yeah, we
The
don't know how to
Vivo
turn it off.
disconnected like 2 minutes into it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, we could not get that connected.
So we
The
tried
rest
to
of the
talk
time.
very loudly.
How do you turn that?
Oh,
Well, usually it's through the app, but it's
Yeah.
not showing connected. Like this connection again.
It was disconnected the whole time we were on. Except, what'd you say, the first 2 minutes that we were on?
You're gonna have to do it manually there, or unless you want to try to reopen the app or something here. Let me see if I can.
so. I don't. When that happens, we always try to connect, but
It would not reconnect. We just kept trying to connect.
did it still go through Facebook?
Yeah, but you can't control it, and it kicks that speaker, which kicks all ambient noise.
So that we just try to talk very loudly when that happens.
Yeah.
Because you can hear everything else. But
And then someone came up and was talking to us.
what'd you say?
Someone came up and was talking to us.
They are. We're live going everywhere, and they're all there.
Yeah, he
All
was
the
like,
time.
I have a live on Facebook
You
at
have-
11 o'clock. Like, you need to find that gentleman over there.
I said that was our second blooper of the day. What was our first? I forget.
I don't know. I can't remember either.
Just do a quick tap on it.
It's recording.
Huh?
It's recording. That's what the red is.
Yep. Just hold it down.